of Toronto, they've been great tonight. They haven't been good, they've been great. And that guy Banchero was not tonight. 9 points, 3 of 14, 0 for 5 from 3.
A minus 30.
Not at all the game I was expecting to watch. I thought we were going to lose this game handedly for multiple reasons.
You got to show up and be better. If your organization's going to invest in you like that, you got to be a lot better.
He put up 30 points in 4 of the last 6 games prior to this matchup here against the Raptors. Put up a stinker here with only 9 points, 3 of 14 shooting. I mean, he was just getting locked up for real. It was bad. In this video, I want to talk about how not only this is a humiliating loss, this is the worst loss in franchise history for the Magic, but how also this is an inflection point in their franchise. They got to think long and hard about, trading Paolo Banchero. And there's multiple reasons as to why I think Paolo Banchero needs to be the one to go. Let's get to it. One being that since All-Star break, we just haven't been able to beat the top teams in the league. I mean, quite frankly, the one team that we beat, Phoenix and then Detroit as well, those are the one teams that we were beating. And then we just couldn't beat the Clippers, the Nuggets, again, the Phoenix Suns. But then the Orlando Magic, I think they're over 500 still, and we demolished them. That was a surprise. Shout out Omer on Twitter, man. He showed the injury report. This was the final one before this Raptors Magic game. And the list of players out, I mean, I was just concerned. Yeah, 2 starters, and then obviously Murray Boyles and Battle, who's our best shooter this season. Yeah, I was not thinking we would win this game. And funny enough, the final score wasn't even the most surprising part of this game. I know, 52-point win. Not surprising. That's crazy to say. I think this game chart perfectly encapsulates what I mean. I mean, up to the point where the Magic were up, I'd say 7 points. In the middle of the first quarter, up until early in the second quarter, the Raptors were just going on a run, and the Magic just couldn't score for like a good chunk of that time. Raptors, I can't believe this. I was watching this live, I was watching this live. I was speechless. I'm like, they're going on a crazy run. I was counting up the run, 27, 29. And then when they hit that 31-0 run mark, I'm like, bro, I've never seen them dominate a team like this. And I was thinking to myself, yo, is this a franchise record? It has to be, right? I mean, it for sure is an NBA record, right? And to my surprise, when I go to NBA Twitter, this account tells me, this is the NBA account, it's the largest unanswered run in the play-by-play era. So that's as far back as the data goes in terms of scoring runs, right? We can't really go back to the 80s. We would have to really, comb through every game that was played and go through the tape and whatnot. And it was through defense, transitioning to offense. What the Raptors do best, what the Raptors basically pride themselves in, being able to turn defensive possessions that are successful into great offensive fast break points. I mean, this team was just feasting on both ends around this time. It was actually crazy. Like, I was seeing, there was a play, there was a play where literally every Raptors touched the paint, and there was only one Orlando Magic player there. Right here, Jamal Cain turns it over, which, by the way, worst stat line of all time, bro. That guy, oof. But yeah, Grady passes it to Scotty. Every Raptor touches the paint, and Javon Carter's the only Magic player that's left there. And then Goga Batadze being the only other player to even run back. It was pitiful. It was embarrassing from the Magic what they were doing out there. And many people, they point to Jamal Mosley's just inability to, be able to, get guys to buy into his coaching philosophy, which, rightfully so. It didn't look like the guys were even trying to run back in transition. But really, I want to talk about Banchero in this game, where obviously he's your best player available, and this is a big test. You've been putting up 30 balls recently. Can you lift us out of this jam? And he couldn't. He failed the test. The Magic only being 4 games over 500 this late in the season, it's just a travesty, man. It really is a disaster. There's still time to make some ground in the playoff hunt, right? If they don't want to be a playing game, they got to win most of their games to end the season. But it's going to be a tough task. Losing 3 of their last 10 games, obviously they lost our recent game against Toronto. Yeah, bro, the trend seems to be going downwards for them. They might end up the 10th seed by the end of the season. Franz Wagner, who's only played 28 games this season, I mean, many people would think, maybe we should have to move off from him because he's been, injury prone for the last couple of years. This is definitely not something you want, to see out of your star player. But I think what's more concerning for me is, Franz is definitely one of those players that, he needs to be healthy, right? But despite that, even the team is better with Franz on the floor as opposed to with Paolo Banchero. I mean, this is just ridiculous. How is it that the Magic are worse when you're on the floor? Not just that, but they get better when you're off the floor. Like, no. Sorry, I'm sorry. That has to be something that needs to be addressed. And this isn't me trying to pick at Paolo just, for some on-off stats that, could be misleading depending on the lineups that they play, right? For this season, it just so happens that he plays in bad light. This has been a constant theme for Paolo throughout his career. Every single season that he's been on the Orlando Magic, even the losing ones, yeah, even the winning ones, he's been a negative on the floor. Slightly negative in the second season, obviously. You could discount that. But there are 7 points better without him on the floor during his All-Star season? Bro, the third season, right? You can discount that for sure. You could say, oh, whatever. That's just, counting error maybe. Bro, the fact that it happens every year, bro, it's a concern. That has to be addressed. To me, that just feels like he's the odd man out. He's the guy that probably you would have to move off of so that, you could basically have this team play in their positions better. This is the payroll for Orlando this year, right? And obviously, Paolo, he's not making his, rookie extension money yet. So for this season, obviously, you don't got to worry about that. But I think for the next season, yeah, that $41 million kicks in, boy. Oh, boy. And the Magic are going to have to think long and hard. Should we keep Paolo? Should we be paying that dude $41 million to be a negative on the floor every game? As it stands, with the players that are currently signed for next season, they'll be a first apron team, right? They can't escape that. They've only got $6 million of space for them to, not be a second apron team. But again, I doubt the Magic are just going to have 11 players on their bench. There's going to be some guys like, Jet Howard that could be signed next season, Moritz Wagner, Javon Carter, who's been playing good this year. I mean, the Magic could very well be a second apron team next season with Paolo getting paid the same amount as Franz Wagner. And so you ask yourself, this summer, when this money kicks in, yeah, I'm not going to lie, bro. I'm thinking long and hard. Yeah, I got to move this dude off. I got to trade him. And look, I wouldn't even care about the on-offs as much if Franz also was getting the same stats. No, his on-offs are way better. And I think it is fair to talk about Jamal Mosley and his, impact on this, his blame on this. You could definitely blame him for this because he's been, very terrible at making adjustments. Quite frankly, his lineups have been disgusting. He's the one that took out Suggs and Bane early in that first quarter that basically led to the Raptors they sensed blood right there. They just pounced because they seen, they don't have their best players. The two guys that were actually killing them in the first quarter, gone. Paolo Banchero and friends. Yeah, we're definitely taking care of business now. But I think it's obvious to me that change is definitely needed in Orlando. And it's not just about the coach that needs to be changed. They got to make sure the roster is maximized to its fullest. And with Paolo, it's not that he's a bad player in itself, right? It's that, quite frankly, him being on the floor doesn't really win you minutes. He doesn't win his minutes. That's the biggest problem to me. You're a star player. You're getting paid $40 million a year next year. Why the fuck am I going to put you on the floor if you can't win your minutes and you're getting paid that much money? I would rather ship you off and get some assets back for that. Now, obviously, how much value does Paolo still have, right? The tightrope that Orlando has to walk now is, do you extend the Paolo experience longer so that you can hope that he salvages more value? Or do you just ship him off now, hoping that you're basically selling him high? All right, this is the best he'll be. This is the best people are going to perceive him as. And, he's a young chip talent, right? He's a star player, Duke, #1 pick, right? Maybe Milwaukee gives you something, right? Obviously, Giannis makes way more money, so you would have to give up more than just Paolo Banchero to make it work. But I'm saying, if there's a team out there that can give you some promising assets, right? Even not just a star player. If you can get complementary role players and a bunch of draft pick, that's good enough. 2 draft picks, 2 first, and 2 solid role players off the bench. Bro, I'm eating. I'm eating off that for sure. Or you could just extend the Paolo experience and see if it pays off for you. Hey, I could be wrong. Paolo could turn things around. But the last 4 years has given me little signs that he'll do so.